Hi guys and girls, my name is Beata Mosór, and today I'd like to introduce you a short case study about how to write a book about your framework using AI. If you are a scientist, a researcher, and you have the results of your research or the results of your work, your framework, your methodology that you like to introduce to the broader audience, and you wish to write a book, an article, anything about that, you can use this process, and this video will be useful for you especially. This video is created under the cooperation with AIBA conference that will happen in October in Poland, in Katowice, and I'm the media partner of this event, of this conference. Here you can find the 20% of the discounts for the conference for AIBA, and if you use the code AIBA 2025-Mosór20, you can not only grab the tickets with the discount, but also grab some free consultation with me. So it's worth it to check it out. Here you can find at circmodel.com, you can find the details of the media partnership that I have with them. And you can find also the previous video that was delivered, that was recorded by me under this partnership, how to better understand your customer based on research using AI. So I introduce how I use AI to speed up the customer research process based on very complex automotive industry case study. And you can find there not only the video recording with the case study, but the model that I'm using, for the framework that I designed, the canvases for the research, and all of the materials that is needed to do your research with AI faster and more efficient on a very complex markets. Today we will have this video about the turning your knowledge into a book in just a week, in 40 hours. But next video in September will be about create videos for your business using simple AI tools. So here, if you will scan the code or go to circmodel.com, you can see the details of this partnership and all of the videos that are already delivered and planned. And today I'd like to showcase you how to write a book about your framework, about your methodology, about the results of your research using AI. And obviously, if you're a scientist, you encounter the problem of not having time to write as a researcher scientist. You are deeply into your research. You are working with students probably, and you do not have time to do that. So I'd like to showcase you how you can do that very efficiently, very fast, based on the scientific-based process that will help you to do that more efficiently. Why I'm doing that? I can see that there is a lot of books without the scientific background, and people are publishing books about things that are really like not worth publishing, and there's a lot of books that are popping up on the market. So I'd like to encourage you as a scientist, as a lecturer, as a researcher, to, if you have your own frameworks or own research results, you should publish that, and this process can help you to do that very efficiently. Why I'm telling that, I'll come back to this slide. So my experience is coming from the technology. I used to work with the technology since 2006, I believe I started. I have also 10 years of experience as a mentor, as a lecturer, and worked with more than 1,000 tech products and services, cooperated with big techs, but also smaller companies, scale-ups, startups. Here you can find all of the details that are coming from my experience. And also you can find the contact details. So here is my email, my LinkedIn profile, X profile, Instagram, and YouTube, where you can find another videos about the business strategy, research, AI in education, and AI in economy. That's the plan. Why I'm telling that about I'm registering this video today? So first of all, I like to showcase you that the entire process of writing a book about methodology, about your research result could take less than 40 hours. With the research process, so problem gathering, with solution gathering, and with the images generation, promo materials generation, and writing the entire content for your paper, for your book. Why problem gathering here in this case study was very important. So I will showcase you the book writing process on the case study of the ebook that I wrote for mentors in the mentor-to-mentor process in a middle-sized city. And this city particularly encountered the problem of huge violence among teenagers. And I worked with mentors to help them to address those problems. And we were in the very vulnerable moment where a couple of days before we started working together, there were like the murder in the city. So one teenager killed another teenager, and we try to discuss why does it happen, what we can do as mentors to help those teenagers to understand their problems better, how we can address that, and what is the part of the mentoring process, what we can address, but obviously what is not. So what we should put into the therapeutic process or the work with psychologists. So here the problem was immediate to address, and mentoring was one of the solutions that could be used. But problem gathering and understanding why in this particular city such a problem is so huge, and how we can help as mentors, and how particularly I can help with delivering best possible mentoring materials for mentors was crucial in this process. So for the problem gathering, I used the Lean UX research process. So we split the target group, the mentors, into workshops that were very short but very efficient. The structure of the workshops you can see here. So we always start with the introduction, with the agenda, with goal, with rules, then with the opening question about the problems that they as mentor encounter in their work with young leaders, with teenagers in this location. And they had the space for first sharing their problems that they can observe. Then they had the space, 45 minutes, for sharing their personal experience about the solutions that they are using, and for the discussion about that between mentors. And then during the second part of the workshop, I showcased them the toolbox, the framework for work as a mentor that is scientific based, that is based on research that I prepared before the workshop, but I obviously updated that after the after the first part of the workshop. So I not only was prepared to showcase them ready solutions, but then while they shared their personal experience, I also fulfilled this toolbox with new materials, with new solutions that could be used in their particular context. Why does it work? There were a couple of ingredients, elements that make such a process work. So first of all, we work in small groups. In Lean UX process, that's crucial. So in Lean UX research, you are splitting your target group during the research process into groups that are up to 14 people. So the process is very efficient, and obviously we use that in the qualitative research. So the research workshop is the form of the qualitative research. But then we created the atmosphere of open discussion, of trust, of sharing their experience. That was very, very important. Then open questions about problems that led them to tell everything that they wanted. But then, as a facilitator in each group, I summarized that and paraphrase not only problems, but also solutions. So I was able to understand them deeply, understand them on many levels, and obviously during this process I also used other terminology that would be understandable by AI, that is scientific based, that is rooted into the could be rooted into the sources. So as you can probably assume, and I will tell about that later on, I use some tools for video and voice recording. So AI then can analyze all of the recordings, all of the materials from workshops. And then why I introduce tools and frameworks based on my experience, I also gather some solutions from mentors. So it was like very broad, because it was not based only on my experience as a mentor, but also on experience of the mentors in the room, in all of the research groups. This framework is based on Lean UX principles, and as you can see here, all of the things that I introduced shortly on the previous slide, you can see them here. So here, small groups for research, for work, then shared understanding, focusing on problems, removing waste of time, everything that here is included. What was important here is that we had the team of people who represented not only mentors, but also the team of the organizers, so people who coordinated mentors, and also mentees. So we had the representation of the teenagers in the room also. So those research, those rules, those principles make the research very, very efficient. And as I designed the workshop, I also used the Lean UX Canva. Not all of that, as you can see here, because we had the small batches of time, 3 hours for each research workshop. But then you can see here, we gathered information about the problems, about the target groups, about the ideas for the solutions that they had, about the benefits that could be achieved by those solutions, and about our outcomes. And we gathered all of the hypotheses about the sources of the problems. So here, let's say 60% of the Lean UX Canva was addressed during such workshops and gathered into the one framework that led us to summarize not only problems, but solutions, personas, hypotheses, all of that in a very efficient form. As I already mentioned, all of those research workshops was recorded with the AI toolbox. So I use Fireflies.ai solution here to register all of the workshops. And I do not have to tell you probably, but I will, that AI models are best based on the video recording. So if you have any chance to record your workshops, record your materials, record your lectures, do that. Because then you can use that to train your models and to prepare better teaching materials, better lectures, better books, papers that will help you. So that was the first part. So the research, problem gathering, and solution gathering. And then I did some deep research. For the research, I used Gemini Advance solution. And here you can see that I've trained the model with all of the materials that I had. not only materials coming from the workshops, so presentation, video recordings, voice recording, notes, paper materials, but also I uptrained Google Gemini 2.5, Gemini Advance, with my framework, with the materials around mentoring process that I introduced in my in my articles, in my blog posts, in my videos. I also added there my mentoring canvas as my framework for mentoring, but also materials on my website, on my blog, describing the process, describing the potential solution that could be used. I also uptrained that with IDI interviews, with in-depth interviews that was recorded with Fireflies.ai, and here, as you can see, there are some like problems gathering, but also for solution, I did the same job here. I also independently uptrain the model with the results in the Google AI Studio, and you can see here I put there all of the materials that I show you, but also my presentation about mentoring that I gave in the past, slides, all of the lectures that I gave in this topic, my mirror boards for mentoring. So here you can see that I use those two tools, and why I did that, I will tell that in just a couple of minutes. Then I split the research process into phases. So I didn't all of the materials. I didn't do all of the materials at once. So first, I uptrained the model with problems. All of the materials around the problems, and did some research using Google Deep Research tool about problems. Then, in the second part, I uptrained that with potential solutions and materials around solutions. So again, all of that around solutions that we gathered. And I asked the model to do the research about the solutions using only particular sources. So using scientific-based solutions, mentoring toolbox that is scientifically verified, etc., etc. Then I uptrain model with my solutions, my framework for mentoring, my materials, and asked to do the additional research about my particular methodology of work based on my papers, publication articles, videos that are public. But also I trained it with these materials here. And finally, I uptrained that with the results of work here. And so as you can see, it was done in a circular mode, in the phases, that led us to do that efficiently. Okay, so but book without images couldn't exist. So I use 3 tools for image generation. Fierce is the most obvious, the easiest one. There's a low-code, no-code tool, canva.com, you probably know that. So for all of the marketing materials around the book, for some reels, for the cover, for videos, I use Canva. That was the easiest one, I believe. Then for some charts, for infographics, for visualization of the result of the research, I use Google Deep Research and the Canva mode. So there are infographic modes, but also websites. So all of the marketing materials, but also visualizations for the book came from Google Deep Research in terms of charts, in terms of, visualization of the results for the toolbox. You can use Gemini API. And then for creative image generation, I uptrained the Gemini Imagen free model and use that to generate some images that was fulfilling the book with images, with the small ones. No, but what about the book content? So here I use also Gemini.google.com, and so based on all of those gathered materials, I asked it to summarize that, to write particular chapters on particular topics. And so the main content was created in Gemini Advance. But for some creative work, from the other hand, for example, for scenarios of particular meetings between mentor and mentee, for some scenarios of creative work between them, I use AI Studio by Google. So as you can see here, I split those two tools. How and why? So first of all, we need to understand that Gemini Advance is the tool that is done for researchers and analysis, research and analysis process. It's best for the research, for text generation, obviously, as a summary of the research. You can obviously generate some code, but those are mostly code for websites, for visualization of the research results. You can use canvases there to, easily present the results of your work, but also you can use some text generation for podcasts that will showcase the research you've done. But then for creative work, for image generation, video generation, for some creative ideas, for scenarios, for such works, Google AI Studio is better. And you can find them not only Gemini models, but also models for image generation or for video generation, as you can see here. So for image generation, Imagine free, for example. For video generation, Viewer 2 now were free, but back in the days when I created this book, it was Viewer 2. The entire process, so problem gathering, then solution gathering, then research analysis of that, then putting that into the book, making the cover, marketing material, websites, and voice recordings for that. So all of that took less than 40 hours. Okay, so that's all for today. If you have any questions around the book creations, about your frameworks, about your scientific work for your papers, you can catch me at AIBA conference in October in Katowice in Poland. I'm the media partner there, so you can grab a code here and buy a ticket with 20% of the discount. And you can find the schedule for another videos around this media partnership on the circmodel.com website, but also you can see my videos on customer research process and my models and Canva for customer research there. So I encourage you to check out the website. I'm Beata Mosór. I'm the founder of circmodel.com, and I use my circular model for business models, but also and frameworks, but also for AI models work. My experience coming mostly from tech. I'm working in tech since 2006, and worked with big tech, obviously, but also with smaller companies, scale-up startups. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. Here you can find all of the details of contact. Have a nice afternoon. Thank you, guys.